World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and U.S. President-elect Donald Trump discussed their countries' bilateral relations with highlights in security and economy. The two had the discussion in a phone call just hours after Trump emerged as the victory in the U.S. presidential elections. According to South Korea's Deputy National Security Advisor Kim Tae-hyo, Yoon and Trump shared concerns over North Korea's continued military provocations in the Korean Peninsula and its deployment of troops in Russia to help in Moscow's offensives against Ukraine. Kim said the two officials agreed to further the discussion in person and meet once their schedules are aligned. Aside from the threat posed by Pyongyang, Kim said Trump also expressed his interest in South Korea's shipbuilding and vessel maintenance, hoping Seoul could aid the U.S. shipbuilding industry. Yoon, for his part, extended his congratulations to Trump and said the success of the trilateral cooperation between South Korea, U.S., and Japan was due to Trump's efforts in his first presidency. In our news, Hezbollah chief Naim Qassem says ceasefire talks would only be pushed once Israel stops its aggression in Lebanon. In a pre-recorded televised speech, Qassem set aside any political action in achieving an immediate truce in Lebanon, stressing that indirect negotiations, which will be participated by the Lebanese state, would only proceed if Israel decides to stop its attack and if the protection of full Lebanese sovereignty is guaranteed. Qassem, the successor of the slain Hezbollah Secretary General Sayed Hassan Nasrallah, made the remarks after Israel's public broadcaster Khan disclosed last week that the United States is pushing for a 60-day truce in Lebanon. Lebanese caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati also disclosed that his country and Israel could enter a ceasefire agreement within days following his phone conversation with U.S. Envoy for Middle East Amos Hochstein. The Israeli government made no comment regarding the reported proposal, while White House National Security spokesperson Zian Savat said that the reported drafts circulating do not reflect the current state of negotiations. Calls for Israel and the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah to end their fighting have been echoed for weeks and months as the violence killed and injured dozens of civilians. Israel's air and ground operations inside Lebanon are currently in parallel with its ongoing military campaign in the Palestinian enclave of Gaza, both fronts that are feared to spill in other parts of the Middle East. And for Philippine Embassy and Consular news, the Philippines and Jordanian governments have explored ways to improve relations in a number of areas, including defense and agriculture, in their inaugural political consultations. The Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, said the high-level discussions focused on strengthening cooperation in agriculture, trade, consular, defense, labor, and education, among others. The dialogue held in Amman on November 7 was chaired by Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Maria Teresa Lazaro and Jordan's Secretary General for Diplomatic and Expatriates Affairs Majed Talji Al-Katharne. On top of cooperation, both sides also exchanged views on pressing regional and international issues of mutual concern, including Jordan's efforts at encouraging the international community to address the dire humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. The DFA said both sides expressed their commitment to further deepening ties and working together to achieve shared goals. Prior to the meeting, Lazaro met with Nathir Obaidat, president of the University of Jordan, for potential collaborations between the university and academic institutions in the Philippines in the future. The Philippines will host the next bilateral consultations meeting in Manila. And that's for today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Queen Peñano. Good day.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.